Hello and welcome to What's in this week's Oban Times with me, Sandy Neal.
Me, Kathy Griffiths.
And me, Fiona Scott.
Well, we're here. Well, all three of us are here this week to give you a little insight into what's in the paper this week. You can read all the stories and lots more online by going to obantimes.co.uk, or you can pick up a printed copy, old school style, in newsagents, supermarkets and petrol stations. So, Kathy, can you tell us what have you been up to this week?
Well, we all love a good blether, don't we? And it seems that having a good wee blether could be Oban's next tourist attraction. There was a bunch of Swedish tourists in town this week who'd come especially to get to know the locals, and they were going to be meeting up with members of Rockfield Heritage Group for a cuppa and a chat and a blether, and that was just part of their itinerary, which included a pub lunch. So there you go. Hopefully these kind of arrangements, get to know the locals, are going to help boost Oban's tourist numbers in the coming seasons. Also, Argyll and Bute Council will be making a U-turn after the October half term to reinstate a school ferry run for children from Luing, and that's much to the joy of parents who've been campaigning to get the 9:05 a.m. service reinstated to get the children to school on neighbouring Seal on time. Also, we've got some great pictures and news from Oban and Kerrera's Big Bike Weekend. There was cyclists of all ages who were heading into those destinations at the weekend to take part in that action-packed event. Keeping on the bike track, we've been hearing from Taynuilt man Richard Stennett, who is setting off this week on a coast-to-coast cycle challenge from Oban to Inverness in aid of Prostate Cancer UK. He survived surgery for that disease and he wants to raise as much money as a thank you for them as he possibly can. And finally, big bang wallop, fabulous news about funding for Oban's fireworks and festive lights displays this year.
Wow, thank you very much, Kathy. Well, how can I compare with that? Well, we have the designs for the Sound of Ulva Gateway. What's that? Well, it's a miniature port building at Ulva Ferry to serve the islands of Ulva, Gometra, Staffa and the Treshnish Isles. You can read all about that in this week's Oban Times. We also have the latest on the next reincarnation of Argyll's ghost town. Ooh, Paul Fail. The abandoned village was built for 500 offshore workers in the 1970s, ready for an oil boom that never arrived. It was demolished in 2016, but what's popping up in its place? Well, you can find out in the Oban Times. We love hearing from you and getting your pictures and stories, so please do email us at editor@obantimes.co.uk, or you can message us on Facebook. There are also holiday plans for an old school in Dalmally, and a distillery has bought a famous Isla hotel. What's going on there? And quick quiz question. What do the films 2001: A Space Odyssey, From Russia with Love, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and Harry Potter all have in common? Anyone got any ideas?
Haven't a clue.
Okay, well, I'll tell you then.
Don't. Read all about it in the Oban Times.
Read all about it in the Oban Times. Yes, I think we will. Well, here's a clue. Star Wars is also on the list. So you can read all about that. Fee, what have you been up to in the sport this week?
Well, sport this week, we've got a ultra high octane sports section. Last week saw the 50th running of the Beatson's Building Supplies Mile Rally just across the water there, and by all accounts the half-century celebration was a huge success. So we've got a 2-page spread to mark the event, with even more online at obantimes.co.uk. Back on this side of the Atlantic, Oban Lawn Rugby Club were trying to power their way to the top of the West of Scotland Division 2 table, with only their opponent Strathaven standing in their way. Power play will also be key next week when Oban Tennis and Squash Club hosts its first professional squash association event at Atlantis Leisure. We also have news on Bob McIntyre, John McPhee, Oban Saints, some shinty and a health tip from Lorne Healthy Options exercise professional Cameron Johnson. Phew! You can catch up on all that action in this week's sports section and online at obantimes.co.uk.
Thank you very much, Fee. Well, it's also getting close to the most wonderful time of the year. I'm not sure we can sing because we can't afford the rights to play that tune, but you'll be quite thankful for that. But now everyone's thoughts are turning to, yes, presents. And for some people, that means a new calendar for 2023 for a loved one. We have 3 new calendar designs, 3 available for ordering right now, featuring fantastic images from all over Scotland. The Oban Times West Highland calendar and Scottish Field mini calendars. Perfect as a gift or just a treat for yourself. You can check out all the images for all the calendars by going to scottishcalendars.co.uk, and you can purchase from shop.scottishfield.co.uk. So from that, it is goodbye from me, Sandy Neal.
And goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
And bye from me, Fiona Scott.
Bye.
Bye.
How much did you all want to sing?
I'm going to have the tune in my head all afternoon now.
Hey, hey.